you'll owe is one of a surprisingly large number of Korean artists currently working in New Zealand. He does painting, he does sculpture, he makes videos. One thing I can assure you though, it is gonna be chaotic. Chaotic! Chaotic! Chaotic!
Yeah, I saw some of your work at I think at a Masters show, open day or something, at Elam a few years back, and was immediately attracted to it because it was so organic.
This is our artist, John.
Yeah, I'm pleased to meet you.
He has a slightly strange request to make of you.
Basically like to use your orchestra to make an art piece.
Do you have a musical score?
It wasn't how it should have happened, but it happened how it should be happened.
I guess a thing that I've been tied up a lot with has been using multiple cameras and shooting scenarios from multiple scenarios and then putting that into video installation art.
Alex knows what she wants to do, but she's going to try and emulate it with some little yellow model aeroplanes. Try and figure out exactly how this is going to work.
I have to imitate it to get my head around what it might look like. Here we go!
Oh, there's been a lot of excitement, there's been some amazing action, but this is the hairiest bit.
Oh, the smoke is mad.
That looks really cool.
Where do you look?
I'm struggling to process it all in my brain because I've never seen it from this direction before.
The flying specific manoeuvres were the parts that I was really looking forward to seeing and seeing how they played out, because I did struggle to imagine exactly how those would, you know, go down.
And how far away from your imaginings were they?
Quite extensively far in some parts.
We're on top of a bitterly cold, windswept hill somewhere in the middle of Hawke's Bay. Wellington's over there, Auckland, well, nobody around here much cares where Auckland is. But why are we here? Well, basically because Dick Frizzell, our artist this week, you know, has some sort of claim to this area, and in his normal no bullshit, rather quirky way, he's going to bring art back to this amazing vista.
If you wanted to be taken seriously as an artist, you couldn't admit to this terrible career as a dirty, sleazy ad man. So I took all those tricks, used them in these new paintings I was doing with the fish labels, and I suddenly had this point of difference. And my three rules are: nothing's sacred, everything's up for grabs, and never ask permission.
Dick's next task is to collect images for his rural Renoirs to paint.
It's a very simple motif for these farmers to deal with, just the road, the tree, the hill.
I love the way this road just goes nowhere.
That's what I liked about it, and of course there's no background,
Yeah.
just the sky.
Now that even Steve has started applying paint to his canvas, we can safely say that all the Pukeora painters are going. They're actually doing it. The daunting prospect of actually putting the paint on has just gone out of their brains, and they've all become real artists all of a sudden. And what about Herr Professor Frizzell?
I'm so impressed that they were game enough to lose themselves in it like that. To do it, keep putting the paint on, make a complete balls up, get into that classic sort of bugger's muddle, and then paint their way back out of it again.
Back in the 1970s, if I'd told you that in 2008, Pororua, the state house capital of New Zealand, would have a community gallery staging an exhibition made up purely of Samoan artists, you'd have told me I was nuts. You'd have packed me off to the local Pororua mental hospital. Because back then, the only thing Samoans were known for in this neck of the woods was for being dragged bodily out of bed by the cops during the infamous dawn raids. Samoans, overstayers. Michael Tuffrey's from the next generation of Samoans, many of whom were born in New Zealand, and his art reflects a totally new and utterly different experience of New Zealand urban life. What you going to do for us?
I wanted to, like I said, go back to the difficult bit. I have done some pieces where I sort of made it so that like the blind people could actually feel the image. You imagine sound and it could make colours from it.
Sound recordist Chris Hiles is roped in to record all the noise Michael needs for his big sound replay idea.
Where exactly do you want to be?
Well, ideally the first sound I think is the electrical sort of, before the turbine flicks in.
Yep, right here.
So potentially quite close for that.